Hello my friends, it's eBird Online and I'm back with another video. And this is the one that you've all been waiting for, the one that I've promised you. It's big, keep the change, Ed's 12 reasons why he never ever had any intention of marrying Rose. And yes, this will be my final video on Ed. Actually, can we make that penultimate video on Ed? Yes, that's much better. This is my penultimate video on big, keep the change, Ed. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm eBird Online, but if you've been here before, what are you waiting for? Press that big red button, subscribe to my channel, make eBird a very happy eBird. Also, please don't forget to follow me on Twitter at mbird99. And if you like the video, please don't forget to smash the like button. Right, so I felt it necessary to give you this video because last week at the tell-all, Ed maintained, I wanted to marry Rose, I fell in love with her. Ed, you never ever had any intention of marrying Rose, and I'm going to lay out for you reasons that prove that this was the case. So my first reason was the ring, the engagement ring. Now according to Ed in the tell-all, he dropped $2,000 on a diamond ring. Really, Ed? Really? I believe at most this ring was a cubic zirconia. So what leads me to believe that Ed didn't spend $2,000 on a ring? Well, the reasons are numerous. Firstly, Ed is a skinflint, hence his keep the change nickname. Also, what do TLC always do when we have somebody purchasing a ring? You always see them go to actually buy the ring. We see how much it's worth. And the cameras managed to follow Ed into the post office to send pillows and sheets and a George Foreman lean green fat reducing machine. But we never saw him buy this £2,000 diamond ring. Why is that? Because he never bought a £2,000 diamond ring. He bought the cheapest piece of tat he could find. I believe he's probably bought this ring from eBay. If this ring were of any merit, we'd have heard all about it. I've got her a £2,000 ring. It's a diamond on a platinum band or whatever. The reason we haven't heard anything about it is because Ed knows good and well it's a pile of doggy doo-doo. And the second reason that I think Ed never wanted to marry Rose concerns the $75 that he claims Rose's sister asked him for. Now the reasons for this are twofold. Firstly, Ed never ever mentioned this in person to Maria. Now I find this quite strange because he told production, he told all of us, he told his co-worker, he told his friend, he told anybody with two ears that would listen. Maria asked me for money and I'm worried that Rose is in on the scam. But strangely, he never mentioned it until the penultimate day to Rose, and even then he said, don't mention it to your sister unless I'm there. Now he knew good and well that he was never going to see Maria again, so this would never ever happen. I don't think for one second that he was worried about offending Maria, because remember, this is the person that asked Rose's dad, do you like living in a pigsty? This is the same person who said, your breath stinks. Here's some mouthwash. And also, if you cast your mind back to when Ed first met Maria, Maria looked at him and looked him up and down. She gave him the old 1-2, and she wasn't exactly, how shall we say, warm and welcoming. Now, if you'd just asked somebody for money, I think you might have given him a tad more an effusive welcome than she gave him. How does she think she's going to get money out of Ed? By giving him cut-eye. So something's definitely off there. I actually don't believe there ever was a $75. I believe it's something that Ed dreamed up so he'd have a get out of jail free card in his back pocket. And if Rose said, it doesn't matter, I don't want any more kids, he'd still be able to brandish this card and say, ah, you and your sister are scammers, I think you're in on it together and I don't want to marry you. And reason number 3 was the gifts that he claimed to have sent Rose. So remember, he said he'd sent clothes and shoes, pillows, a George Foreman lean green fat reducing machine. All of these items, according to Ed, came to around $2,500, and he further spent another $2,500 on postage. How strange then that when he arrived in Manila, Rose told him none of the items turned up, not even one. And Ed, well, he made no further mention of these items. Now if we think about keep the change, Ed, he's worried about 30 cents. So I believe he would have drawn the logical conclusion that Rose and her sister or her family had sold all these goods for the money. And the truth be told, that's what the eBird thought. But it's just very, very strange that he made no further mention of any of these items. And he also, after sending the first few items, and Rose said they've yet to turn up, he didn't then insure the items. Surely you'd be able to get all of your money back. But Ed's not worried about the odd $5,000 here, $5,000 there. Yeah, right. Ed, you're a liar. You never sent a bloody thing. In at reason number 4 is Rose's young son Prince. So we all first remember seeing Prince on the computer screen, and Prince was calling Ed daddy, and Ed was cooing over him and saying, oh my god, he's so sweet. Seemingly little Prince must have soured. in the interim period between that conversation and Ed meeting him in Manila, because Ed didn't pay any attention to Little Prince at all. Considering he was planning on marrying Maria, you would have thought he would have checked to see if Prince took to him and if they could forge a relationship, but he basically ignored him. Even when they went to the island, Rose said, "I don't really want to go away because I miss my little prince." Ed said, "It doesn't matter, Prince can stay with Maria, I want to get to know you." And he showed no intention of getting to know Prince. And this is yet another very clear indication that Ed had no intention of marrying and bringing her and her son to the US. And reason number 5 were 2 incidents that Ed had with Rose's dad. On the first night that he ever met him, they were at dinner and Ed said to him jokingly, "Oh, we're nearly the same age." Who in their right mind would say to their prospective father-in-law, "We're nearly the same age, ho ho ho, isn't that funny?" It's not funny, Ed, it's suspect, that's what it is. And the second incident is very similar. It's when they were at the pig farm. Remember when Ed went to see all his cousins? And Ed looked over at the dishevelled shack that Rose's dad lived in, and he said to Rose, "Ask your dad if he likes living here." What? And poor Rose, bless her, actually asked her dad and said, "Dad, Ed wants to know, do you like living here?" And her dad said, "Yes, the pigs are my life." Nobody with serious intentions of marriage would say such a thing to their prospective father-in-law, because that's exactly the kind of thing that would make him say, "No, Rose isn't marrying you, get off my land." Scram, Ed, scram. And reason number 6 is Ed's demeanour when he was at the house. So basically, not only did he fail to take any gifts or any presents for the family, he failed to pay for anything, and he failed to show any concern about the living conditions of the family. So they put on a massive spread, and there was meat and fish and all sorts of different dishes. Ed gave absolutely no contribution. He noted whilst he was there that there was rainwater pouring in through the roof onto an electricity box. Anyone with long-term plans or designs on the person's daughter would have said to the father, "Don't worry, I'll pay for some corrugated iron and pay for someone to come and put it on the roof and we'll patch it up to make sure it no longer is a danger to you and your family." That didn't happen with Ed, and the fact that that didn't happen tells me that he didn't see this as any sort of a long-term endeavour. He didn't plan upon marrying Rose. And reason number 7 was the tiny patter of little feet. Ed knew very well that Rose wanted 2 more children, and when they were still Skyping each other, Rose told him this and Ed said, "Okay," and he didn't say one way or the other. Before he went to the Philippines, he spoke to his friend in his bedroom and his friend said, "You need to tell her that you don't want any more kids because that's going to be a big issue in your relationship." So we're expected to believe that keep the change Ed bought a £2,000 ring, spent £5,000 on pillows, etc, etc, and flew all the way out to the Philippines to meet Rose, knowing that she wanted kids and he did not. And we're expected to believe that Ed just thought, "I'll take the chance on it. Who knows? Maybe she'll change her mind." And on the day that he told her the devastating news that he didn't want any more children, Rose said, "Do you want to go away and have a think about things?" And he said, "No, there's absolutely no room for debate. I 100% don't want any more children." And he was resolute, and one of my subscribers, I think, hit the nail on the head. Guys, I've got the best subscribers, I always say it, and this is why it's true. He pointed out that he believes Ed's already had the vasectomy, and that's why he was so resolute, because he knew that couldn't be reversed. Also, that's why he was so gung-ho about Rose having an STI test, because he knew he couldn't make her pregnant. So if Rose had an STI test and was completely clean, they didn't have to use any condoms or any other protection. It really makes you think, doesn't it? It really makes you think. But yeah, anyone planning on getting married wouldn't have spent so much money on rings and presents and going over there if they knew there was one big reason that this wedding would never ever happen. Unless, of course, they never intended on getting married in the first place. And reason number 8 is the fact that Ed was always looking to paint Rose in a bad light. So first he said her legs were gross because they had hair on them. I'm standing in a hotel room. Ed is to my left and Rose is to my right. Oh, what's this? Something's gross. It's not fucking Rose, is it? Then he demanded from her a list of everyone she'd ever slept with, and when she refused to give him it, he said, "She's hiding a past from me. Oh my god, I can't trust her." Then he told us all he doesn't like the place that Rose lives in. It's disgusting. It's scary. Throughout the whole season, he was saying, "Is Rose a scammer? Does she really love me? Or is she after my money? Does she really fancy me? Does anyone?" And also saying, "You've got disgusting breath to the whole of the world," and giving her a toothbrush and mouthwash. If this was going to be your wife, if this was going to be the person that you took to America and presented to everybody, all your friends and family, as this amazing person that I have deemed fit to marry, you wouldn't denigrate them in such a manner. This intimates to me that he never had any intention of marrying Rose. Think about it logically, most of us minimise the problems that we have with our partners so that other people don't think badly of them. Not Ed. Ed maximises them all. Ed makes sure, if you didn't know, hey you, over there in the corner, Rose is disgusting, just in case you didn't know. Reason number 9 is when they finally broke up and Rose said, I no longer want to be with you, you're a liar. And Ed said, so I'm a terrible person now. And Rose says, yes. Yay! Yes, you are, Ed. Yes, you are. Ed then let Rose go to the hotel room and take enough time that she needed to pack all her bags and disappear off on the bus. Not even a taxi, she had to wait around for the bus. And then he slowly and leisurely made his way over to the hotel room and said, oh my God, Rose is gone. If he really wanted to marry Rose, he would have raced after her just to ensure she wasn't going to go before they'd managed to have another conversation and talked everything through. But he quite happily let her go, and then he got a plane directly to Manila and went straight home. He didn't even for one moment think, let me stop back at Rose's hometown and have another chat to her. Oh Ed, the writing's on the wall. And reason number 10 is what I believe is his real reason for being on the show, his fame. The way that he's behaved since he's been back from Manila is unbecoming of a 54-year-old. But mind-boggling at the same time is on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. Every time I turn my PC on, Ed's there. He's like a big kid and he constantly talks about his fans. Fans? Do you mean followers or subscribers, Ed? You don't have any fans. You're not a celebrity. And who can forget Ed had a beef with baby girl Lisa, because Ed actually said, I'm the runaway star of this show, I'm the most bankable star TLC have ever had. No, you're the biggest goddamn freak show that TLC has ever had, and nobody can believe the crap you speak. And reason number 11 concerns his daughter, Tiffany. Tiffany had not spoken to her dad for 4 weeks before he left for the Philippines because of the whole relationship with Rose. She felt the age gap was too wide and she didn't like the relationship. But Ed didn't seem worried about this at all. In fact, he barely mentioned it whilst he was away. And I think the reason he barely mentioned it was because he knew he'd never marry Rose and he'd get back home and make up with Tiffany anyway, so it was of no consequence to him. And the final reason, reason number 12, is the nature of Ed's online presence. Ed isn't selling anything, not any product, not any idea, and certainly not anything tangible. Yo-Yo, she's selling a cookbook, apparently. Avery, she's no doubt selling her salads or her lifestyle. Ash, she's selling his schlong and a little bit of advice for women. Usman, he's selling his music and his soul. But what is Ed selling? Ed is selling himself. Ergo, Ed's selling nothing. So he's got stickers of himself on suitcases, he's all over social media, but Ed has no end product, nothing at all. He's been bankrupt twice and has made an absolute mess of every business venture he's ever tried. But the vigour with which Ed is selling Ed tells me he had this planned way before he went out to Manila, way before he actually physically met Rose in the flesh. And I noticed when he was leaving the hotel room, after Rose had dumped him, he had stickers of himself on his suitcase. So he already had stickers of his likeness made up for himself to put onto his suitcase before the cameras even started rolling. That is some level of narcissism, and I believe that level of narcissism only occurs in somebody that already wanted to be famous before Rose. So my friends, let me know what you think. Do you think that Ed had any real intention of marrying Rose, or do you think this was one big clout chase? Since he returned home, his merch opportunities have grown and grown. He's now got t-shirts and bags. I don't think he gets it. Ed, we never ever want to see you again. But he seems to think we want to see him everywhere. We don't. And Ed's been doing the usual round of interviews in which he says, the haters, i.e. the people that call you out on your ish, Ed. Is that what you're calling them now? Ed calls them haters. I just call them the global population. So let me know in comments, is there anything that you think I've missed off this list? Any really obvious bits of evidence for Ed not wanting to marry Rose? Or perhaps you think that Ed did want to marry Rose, but it just didn't go well. If so, I want to hear from you, let me know down below, and I will be back very soon with another video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, just hit that red button, make eBird a very happy eBird, and I'll be back soon. Thank you for letting me get this off my chest. Ciao for now.